Hello and welcome to the show. When you look at the headlines about spousal benefits, it can get very confusing. And if you are trying to claim spousal benefits or you are thinking about it, it can be very daunting and you're not sure where to start. And some of the headlines point to strategies that may not necessarily be apparent to you when you try to take this step. So today, what I'm going to do is walk you through Social Security spousal benefit for 2026. And most importantly, give you 5 things that the Social Security Administration would not tell you while you go through this process. And a little bit about me. I am Kwame Kwade. I am the benefits insider. I am a professor, adjunct professor at Johns Hopkins. I teach finance. I'm also an entrepreneur. And for the past 15 years, I have been helping older adults get the retirement benefits they deserve. Let's jump right into today's topic. So, spousal benefits, what is it? Well, benefits that are paid to a current or former spouse based on their workers' earnings record, even if the spouse never worked or earned less. So essentially, if you're a current spouse or a former spouse, you are eligible for spousal benefits if you meet the eligibility criteria, which I am going to talk about in details. The average spousal benefit is $900 a month in 2026, and you get up to 50% of your spouse's Social Security benefits that they are entitled to at their full retirement age. Currently in the United States, 5.7 million people are receiving spousal benefits. So it's a large number. Now, who qualifies for Social Security spousal benefits? This is where I need you to pay attention because there's a lot of details here that trip up a lot of people. Number one is that you have to be married for at least 1 year, or you are caring for the worker's qualifying child under age 16. Criteria number two, your spouse has to have filed for their own Social Security benefits first before you can file for spousal benefits. And you have to be age 62 or older. Age 62 is the first, the first opportunity for you to be able to claim Social Security benefits. So you have to be of age at age 62 to be able to do that. And here's an important critical number that you need to keep in mind. They are going to give you the highest of your benefit or your 50% of your spouse's full retirement age benefit. And so if your own benefit is higher, then you cannot claim spousal benefits because Social Security will ask you to file for your own benefits. Now, I want to welcome everybody that's watching this show live. I want you to go into the comment section and give me your name and where you are watching this live from, because I like to know where you guys are watching our broadcast from. And we really appreciate you spending time with us this Tuesday, February the 17th. So moving on, what you have to understand about the rules is that your spouse must file first. If they wait until age 70, you are locked out until they file. So when it comes to spousal benefits, you have to really discuss that with your current spouse because that may be a strategy you both have to agree on. So how does the Social Security Administration calculate spousal benefits? Well, it is the highest amount of 50% of your own Social Security based on your own record, or 50%, 50% of your spouse's Social Security that they will receive at their full retirement age. So they are going to look at their primary insurance amount. That is what the PIA means. And then minus your own PIA. So if your spouse's 50% is higher than your own Social Security on your own record, then you're going to get that difference as a top up. So typically people think that when you file for Social Security spousal benefit, you are going to get, an amount that is the spousal benefit. But what the Social Security Administration does is that they will give you your own benefit first. And then if there's a difference, they will top you up to bring you up to 50% of your spouse's benefit at their full retirement age. So even though you are entitled to 50%, it doesn't mean that you will get 50% because it depends on when you decide to file for Social Security benefits. So if you file at age 62, you are not going to get 50%. You're going to get 32.5%. If you file at age 64, you're going to get 37.5. It is when you file at your full retirement age, depending on when you were born, that may be age 67 or 66 and change. That is when you get the entire 50%. So here is the key thing you need to remember. When you file for spousal benefit, determines how much money you get. And number two, you have to file for your own benefit first. And then you get a spousal top off that gets you to that 50% of what your spouse is going to get at their full retirement age. So again, welcome to today's live. We are always here at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. If you are watching this live, let me know where you are in the comment section below. If you are watching the rebroadcast of this live, I also want to hear from you. Let me know where you're watching from by telling me your city and your state. Now, there is a particular rule that there is a lot of misconceptions about when it comes to spousal benefit, and it's called the deemed filing rule. Now, since 2026, there's been some changes with this rule. So in the past, spousal beneficiaries are allowed to claim their spousal benefit first, while their own Social Security benefit under their record grows over time, and then they will take it at a later date. Well, that loophole has been closed. And so now, when you take spousal benefits, you are filing for your own Social Security benefit and you're getting a top off. And so you cannot come back later and claim your own benefit, because as soon as you file your spousal benefit, it is determined that you have filed for your own Social Security. So there is no, file and suspend and collect later. That strategy has totally been closed since 2016. So essentially, what you need to know is that the file and suspend rule has been eliminated, except if you are receiving survivor benefits. Survivor benefits are excluded from the deemed filing rule. And so that is the only way you can file and suspend and claim your own benefits later. So spousal benefits, unlike other Social Security benefits, do not grow after you reach your full retirement age. So if you are claiming your own benefit, it will grow past your full retirement age by 8% a year. So if you delay your own benefits and you get to age 70, you are going to get 124% of what you would have received had you filed at your own full retirement age. However, if you claim spousal benefit, even if you wait until after your full retirement age, you do not get any extra money. And so you do not benefit by waiting past your full retirement age to file for spousal benefit, because there's no financial benefit there. But if you wait till your own full retirement age, you are going to get 100% of what you deserve, which is 50% of your ex-spouse, your current spouse's benefit that they will get at their full retirement age. So I see some people in the comments. I see Joyce Frank. I see Maria Gomez. I see other Karen Jones. Welcome, welcome. Let me know if you're watching this live. Go into the comment section and let me know your city and your state. And I see Kathleen is also in there. Welcome. Now, so let's move on to the next thing that you have to know that Social Security will not tell you. Here are the 5 things that when it comes to Social Security spousal benefits, the Social Security Administration is not necessarily just going to volunteer this information and tell you. Number 1 is that you have to check your own benefit. Now, there are 2 records that you need in order to figure out whether you are going to claim benefits on your own record or you're going to claim spousal benefits. Well, it starts with going to check your own benefits, and you do that by logging into your My Social Security account. And when you do that, you can see how much you are going to get right now if you file and how much you're going to get at your full retirement age. If you don't have a My Social Security account, you should make a point to create one. Now, the second thing you need is the most critical data that Social Security Administration doesn't tell you how to get it, is to get your own spouse's primary insurance amount. That is the PIA. So you will have to ask your spouse to check their estimate at their full retirement age, or you both can request it together from the Social Security Administration. You need that two pieces of information: your own benefit at your full retirement age and your spouse's benefit at their full retirement age, and then compare what 50% of their benefit is going to be for you. And that second number, you need your spouse to give you. The third is to calculate 50% of that amount. And then you can figure out whether strategically it makes sense for you to file first as a spouse, or it makes sense for you to file under your own record. Remember, only survivor benefits can get the deemed filing exemptions. So Social Security Administration would not proactively tell you to check your spouse's records. You have to ask your spouse to do that on their own and provide you that information so that you can make that calculation. So today we have questions and answers at the end, and here is some exciting news. Going forward, you are going to be able to actually call us and leave a voicemail, and we will, there's a chance that we'll play the voicemail on our live recording and answer your questions. So you can do that right now as we speak. As I am recording this live, you can go and leave a message and ask a question by calling 410-220-1335. We would love to hear from you. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear your questions. And you may get featured on our live broadcast where I answer your question. I'll play your voicemail, and then I will answer it live on the show. So again, call 410-220-1335 if you want to ask a question. Of course, you can ask a question today in the comments if that is convenient for you. But if you're watching this after the live show is over, you can go and call that number and ask a question, and I will feature it probably in the next day's show or another day later. So let's talk about spousal decision tree. While spousal benefits can be complicated, but it is very easy to determine the best path forward. So the first thing you need to do is calculate your own benefit at your full retirement age by going to the Social Security website and figuring out how much you're going to get at your full retirement age. And then get your spouse's benefit, their primary insurance amount at their full retirement age. And then compare 50% of their benefit to what you would have received at full retirement age. And then here is where you have to make a decision. On the left-hand side, if your own benefit is higher, then you have to file for Social Security on your own record. There's no spousal benefits available if your benefit amount is higher than 50% of theirs at full retirement age. Now, if your benefit is higher, but it's not an amount that you are excited about, then consider waiting until age 70, because at that point, you get 124% of what you would have gotten at your full retirement age. On the other hand, if your 50% of your spouse's benefit is higher, then you receive your own benefit plus a spousal top off to reach the 50% level. So now, if you want to get the entire 50%, then you have to file for Social Security at your full retirement age. Next, let's talk about an example. How does this work when we talk about a top off for spousal benefits? So let's give an example. Here is John, and his primary insurance amount is $2,800 at his full retirement age a month. And then Mary is John's wife, and her own primary insurance amount at her full retirement age is $900 a month. So now, Mary wants to figure out whether she needs to file for Social Security spousal benefits under her own record at full retirement age or under spousal benefits. Let's do the math. So clearly 50% of John's amount at full retirement age is $1,400. I hope you're following this so far, because I want to make sure that I make this example very clear. And so John, 50% of his record is $1,400 a month. And then Mary, you take out Mary's amount at her full retirement age, and that is $1,400 minus $900 is $500. It means that there's a gap of $500 between 50% of John's money, and what Mary would have received under her own record. So that $500 becomes the top off. And so Mary will get her benefits first, her $900, and then Social Security will top off the difference called the spousal top off. That is the extra 500, and that makes up the 1,400 that she's going to receive. That is how that is going to work. So that is why Mary has to file her own Social Security first, and then she'll get a top off. So you cannot come back later. Mary cannot come back later and say that she wants to claim her own benefits at age 70 because she's already claimed her own benefits by filing for Social Security as a spousal benefit. I hope that is clear in that example. If you have any questions at all, leave me a comment and I will respond to your question during this live. I want to answer questions related to spousal benefit. So if you have anything specific to you, a particular unique situation that applies to you, type it in the comment section below or call the number that I gave you, 410-220-1335, and leave a voice note and I will play it on live and then answer your question. So let's talk about 5 things that the Social Security Administration will not tell you and that you need to know in order to sort through all of this, right? Your spouse must file first before you can get spousal records. That is definite. You cannot file before your current spouse if you are claiming spousal benefit. You must get your own benefits first and then get spousal top off. File and suspend and restricted applications have been gone since 2016. So once you file for spousal benefits, you have effectively filed for your own Social Security because they will give you your own benefit first and then top off with your spouse's benefit. Now, spousal benefits do not grow past the full retirement age. So when you get your 50% at your full retirement age, that is the limit of how much benefit you can get if you are filing for spousal benefit. And the Social Security Administration will not tell you how to check your spouse's PIA amount because it is on you to do that. So moving on, what is the difference? There are 3 different forms of Social Security spousal benefits, and I'm going to walk you through all 3 of them. There is spousal benefits, there's survivor benefits, there is divorce spouse benefits. Let's quickly walk through that. If you're filing for spousal benefit, means that you are currently married, you can get up to 50% of your spouse's primary insurance amount. Your spouse must file first. You must be married for at least 1 year. You get a reduced amount if you file before your full retirement age. There are no delayed credits after full retirement age, and deemed filing, means that you have filed your own benefit if you claim spousal benefits. When it comes to survivor benefits, let's say that unfortunately your spouse passes away, you get 100% of the deceased spouse's benefit. It is available to you as early at age 60 and even earlier at age 50 if you are disabled. The marriage must have lasted at least 9 months. And if you are remarried and you're claiming survivor benefits, you have to have been remarried after age 60. And you're not subject to the deemed filing rule. And so you can file for the survivor benefits first and then let your own benefits grow and switch to that later. That is an option that is available to you under survivor benefits. And then finally, divorce spouse. Here is where the rules get a little tighter. You have to have been married for at least 10 years. You also get up to 50% of the spouse's benefit, but 100% if you are a survivor, even if you are divorced. You must be unmarried, currently unmarried, but if you are married, if you remarried, then it has to be after age 60 for you to be able to get survivor benefits. Now, spousal benefits, survivor benefits you can get at age 60. And as I mentioned, the marriage has to be about 10 years old, and you can be waived for divorce decree, and you have to have been divorced for at least 2 years if your spouse is currently alive. So those are the difference between the 3 spousal benefits that Social Security offers. and I want to make sure that you get those. And I'll go into the comment section soon and answer some questions for you. So like every live, I want to give you some actions you can take regarding the information that I've just given you. So if you are thinking about spousal benefits or you want to file, here is the 4 steps you have to take today, this week. Number 1, check your benefits online. Go to socialsecurity.gov and check your benefit amount. If you don't have an account, you can create one very easily. Now you need to talk to your spouse and have them log into their own account and give you their number so that you can compare. You're comparing your own benefit at your full retirement age versus what they will get at their full retirement age. And then you take 50% of theirs and then compare it to yours. And if theirs is higher, then it makes sense to file for spousal benefit and get that top off. And then this week, obviously, you do the math and figure out which one is higher. And then now you have to decide what time do you want to file for benefits. Because if you file early, you are not going to get the 50%. If you file at age 62, you're going to get 32.5% in benefits. So that is how the benefits work. And if you have any questions right now about spousal benefits, divorce benefits, survivor benefits, let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know your city and your state if you're watching this live. If you're watching the recording later, I still want to hear from you. Let me know where you're watching my broadcast from. Now, if all of this sounded new to you, if all of this is maybe overwhelming for you, I want to invite you to join our daily newsletter, because think about it. If this is information that you didn't know about, think about what you are missing. And so go to benefitsinsider.co and enter your email address and you join our daily newsletter. It comes out Monday to Friday. It's called the Daily 3 and will give you pretty much snippets, a quick summary of things that you need to know on a daily basis that can affect your retirement, your finances, or your benefits. So go right now to benefitsinsider.co and sign up for our newsletter. We will put the link in the comments for you to be able to do so. And this tomorrow morning, once you sign up today, tomorrow morning, you will start receiving our daily 3 newsletter. I am excited to send that to you. So essentially, how do we wrap this up? Well, I want to tee up what we're going to talk about tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to stay on this particular spousal benefits and talk about divorce benefit. Because if you're currently divorced, you may be owed thousands of dollars from your ex's social security benefits. I'm going to unpack all of that for you. And here's what you need to know. Your ex cannot block your divorce benefits. They cannot check, their check does not go down because you file for benefits on their record, and Social Security is not going to notify them if you file for benefits on their record. So if you're currently divorced, you want to come here, or you know somebody that is, they may be eligible for Social Security benefits based on their ex's record. I'll be talking about that live tomorrow. So again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or you can call our hotline, our dedicated benefits line, to ask question at 410-220-1335. Now, just like with every live that I do, there is a section called the retirement reality check. This is where we're going to go into strategy of how you are going to handle your spousal benefits, because I want to leave you with something that you can take action on right now. So let's jump right into that. So the first one is the spousal reality check. Spousal benefits in 2026, the mistakes that quietly cost couples thousands of dollars. Spousal benefit is not automatic. It is a rules game, and timing is everything. So one wrong assumption can cost you thousands over retirement. So then what are you supposed to do? Well, let's clear out the myth and the reality, right? Deemed filing is something that you need to understand. It means that when you file for any retirement benefits, Social Security treats it as if you have filed for all benefits that you are eligible for. So you cannot only choose spousal benefits now and then choose your own benefit later. if you are under the deemed filing rule, unless you are claiming survivor benefits. So that is something that you need to know. So if you've been living in this reality where you think that, oh, I'm just going to claim spousal benefits now, I'm going to let my benefits grow until later and I'll file for it, that is not going to happen, because once you file, you have been deemed to have filed for everything that you are eligible for. Now, here is the lockout most couples don't see, right? If the higher earner delays their benefit until age 70, the spouse may be locked out for years. So here's something we need to talk about. If you are planning to file for spousal benefits, you need to talk to your spouse about it, because if they plan to file for Social Security, let's say until age 70, you cannot file for Social Security until they file. And so you have to wait. And so spousal benefits is about strategy. You have to figure out what works for both of you and what is the optimum time, because if 50% of his amount is higher than what you would have gotten at full retirement age, and you want to file under his or her record, it can be her too, his or her record, then you have to make sure that you guys have had a conversation about it and have a strategy, because until he or she files, you have to wait. So that's why couples must plan together, not separately, when it comes to Social Security. And then there's the trap where people are waiting past their full retirement age, thinking that their spousal benefit is going to go up. Your own benefit can grow with delayed credits, but spousal benefit does not. And so if you wait after your full retirement age to file for spousal benefits, you are getting zero. There's no increase that you're going to get after your full retirement age. And then here's a reality check, right? Let's talk about it. The $6,000 a year mistake that people make. So let's say that, your spouse has a higher PIA of $2,800. You're getting $1,400 at 50%. The lower PIA number is $900, right? Yours is $900. Now the spousal top-off is $500 a month. Now, if you don't know that you could file for spousal benefits, then you are leaving $6,000 a year on the table. Let's say that you reach age 62, you didn't know that you can file for spousal benefits, and you file for your own benefit. Social Security is not going to tell you that you need to compare and that you should file for spousal benefit. They're not going to do that for you. You have to go in there and show them that you want to file under your spouse's record. And so if you don't know that and you file under your own record, then you are in $6,000 a year hurt, because money that you could have received that you are not getting. So as I said, this is your 10-minute plan to be able to take action. It's a simple action plan about spousal benefit. Number one, go to the Social Security Administration, find out about your estimate, get your spouse to do the same, compare both records. If 50% of his is higher than yours, then you qualify. So as usual, I give you the headline, I give you the rule, and then I give you what action you have to take right now in order to make sure that you're maximizing your benefits. So guys, that is the Social Security retirement reality check. If you want to go deeper on this, then check out our Senior First store, where we have amazing guides that can help you maximize your Social Security benefits, including spousal, divorce, survivor benefits. You can check out our Maximize Your Social Security bundle. That alone has so much in there. Of course, our senior discounts for 2026. And we are doing something we call the Next Chapter Second Act. If you are one of those people that is trying to make some extra money on the side, this is a second gig for you, or you're trying to change your career at all and try something new. We are releasing new guides to help you not only tell you where to look, but how to get those jobs. And the first one we did is about delivering food, making extra money with food delivery. Check that out in our store. You will really, really, really like it, because we've spent a lot of time giving you the best of the best that is out there. So we're going to drop that link to the Social Security, our Senior First store. We're going to drop the link in the comments section right now. So now my favorite part of the show is about your questions. You can ask them in the comment section. I will go through it. But I have been collecting questions about Social Security, spousal benefits from our community on Facebook, from our community here on YouTube. And so I have some questions that people have already asked. And so here's what I'm going to say. Today, we're going to talk about the spousal claim strategies and the questions that have already come in. And as usual, you can be part of this Q&A section. Call 410-220-1335. Leave us your question in a voicemail, and then you may get a chance to be heard online where I can play your voicemail and answer your question. So if you have a question about retirement, Social Security, SNAP, Medicare, call right now and ask the question, and you may be featured on a future live show. Now let's talk about the questions. I have 9 questions I want to share with you that have come in, and then I'll go into the comments and chat with you and see what else it's in there. So the first one is that I am 58-year-old retired teacher. Husband will retire at 67 this year and begin to collect Social Security. When can I begin to collect on him? So basically, the person is saying that their husband is retiring this year I'm assuming at their full retirement age, but she's currently 58. So she's trying to find out when can she claim spousal benefits. Well, with everything, I like to show you the receipt. So I'm not just going to tell you what to do. I am going to actually show you the answer on the screen so that you can take a screenshot, or you can save this video for later, or share it with somebody that you know is facing a similar situation. So here's what to do. You can only get a spousal top-up after he starts his benefits. So number 1, he has to file for Social Security first. Number 2, you have to be age 62 in order to file for spousal benefit unless you are caring for a qualifying child. So that's important. So you say you're 58, you have 4 more years to go before you can file for spousal benefits unless you are currently caring for a qualifying child. And then, as I mentioned before, estimate your own record versus 50% of your spouse's record and see which one is higher. If his is higher, then you get that spousal top off. But remember, if you file at 62, you don't get the entire 50%. You get 32.5%. So that also should factor into your thinking about when you want to file for benefits. Let's go to the second question. Hello, I am turning 62 in a couple of months, and husband is filing Social Security in October at full retirement age. Will I just get topped up automatically, or do I need to request spousal benefits? Excellent question. Remember when I told you that there are things that the Social Security Administration does not tell you? This is one of them. So let's talk about it. You know, spousal benefits are not automatic. Just because your spouse filed for benefit does not mean the Social Security Administration, in the generosity of their heart, are just going to then automatically send you money. It doesn't work that way. You have to request it, and you have to apply to trigger the spousal benefit. Now, Social Security will pay your benefit first, and then they'll add the spousal top off if 50% of theirs is higher than what you would have gotten at your full retirement age. So ask Social Security for a combined benefit computation before you start the month. Here's the third question. How long does it take for spousal benefits to be processed? Dad approved, mom applied same time, still hasn't received spousal. So basically here the person is saying that the dad was approved for Social Security retirement benefits. The mom applied at the same time for spousal benefits, because remember, the spouse whose record we are using has to apply for benefits first. So mom applied at the same time, which is good, but mom hasn't received their spousal benefit yet. So they want to know what's going on. Well, here's the thing. Spousal benefits can take longer if the Social Security Administration needs marriage proof or record matching. So if dad just started, mom's top up may not calculate until his benefit is active. So what you can do is call the Social Security Administration and ask what specific item is pending. You want to know, why are they holding mom's benefit? Is it because they need some information they haven't received? Call them and ask them, and they will let you know why her benefit is pending, or have her call. Actually, she will have to call. Number 4, women who collect Social Security. It said women who collect from their account and also collect from spouses. Do they receive 2 separate checks each month? I only receive one. So this is a clarification about how spousal benefits work. And the question is that if you are receiving a spousal benefit, do you get 2 separate checks? And the answer is no. Um, Typically, you get one payment, even if it includes a spousal top off. Your check may include your benefit plus the top off that is blended together into a single check. So if it's not the amount that you expected, then you may not have filed for spousal benefits. And so clarify with Social Security, what are they paying you? Are they paying you your own benefit, or are they paying you a spousal benefit? Assuming that you filed for spousal benefit. That is very important. As usual, guys, if you want to ask me a question, you can type it in the comments, or you can call our questions hotline by going to 410-220-1335. I've put that link in the comments. You will see that there. You can call right now and leave a voicemail, and we will maybe play it in a future video. You hear your voice on our live show. But I want to hear from you if you have questions specific to what we're talking about, or a question generally about Social Security or retirement. Here's another question. I'm assuming the person say, I am 73. My wife is over 70. She's been collecting under $300. Should she be collecting half of mine? So here again, a husband is asking, should the wife be collecting Social Security spousal benefits? And I told you this. The Social Security Administration, in the generosity of their heart, are not just going to pay you spousal benefits just because your spouse, has a higher amount that will benefit you. You have to do that math. So that's why I gave you that whole strategy where you have to figure out what your full retirement age amount is, your PIA, figure out what your spouse's PIA is, take 50% of theirs, and if it's higher than yours, then you're eligible for spousal benefit as long as you meet the other criteria that you are supposed to meet, which is 1 year of marriage, and you have to be 62 or older. So let's answer this question that this person is asking. So you're getting half is based on her full retirement spousal amount, not half of your current check, right? Her own benefit is paid first. Only the difference becomes a top up. So have the Social Security run a spousal eligibility plus top up calculation to make sure that she's eligible and that she'll receive more if she goes on spousal benefit. The next question, if I want to start receiving Social Security at 62 from my ex-husband, I am going to wait and let mine accumulate and then switch over to mine at 70. You probably know the answer to this because I've talked about this a lot today. Now, that cannot happen, right? For most people, that strategy does not work anymore due to deemed filing. Filing on an ex often counts as your own filing, except if you're getting survivor benefits. So assuming the spouse is currently alive, you cannot do what you're asking, because once you file for spousal benefits based on their record, even if you are divorced, it will be counted that you filed for your own benefit. So you cannot delay your benefits and claim spousal benefits first unless you're doing survivor benefits. Another question. Now I'll be able to collect half of my husband's. I am 65 now. Should I collect at 67 or wait until age 70? Perfect question. I like this question because it goes to one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about spousal benefits. So let's talk about it. So spousal benefits do not grow, as I mentioned, beyond your full retirement age. So once you hit your full retirement age and you apply for spousal benefits, or you delay it, you're not going to get any more money, right? So waiting until age 70 does not help you at all. Your spousal benefit is not going to grow. So decide whether you're going to take it now or you're going to take it at your full retirement age. But anything beyond your full retirement age does not financially benefit you in any way when you're claiming spousal benefits. What documentation must you have to collect from a living spouse that you are divorced? if you don't know their SSN? Okay, so this is a great question. Remember when I told you, actually, when you come back tomorrow, I'm going to go into details about divorce benefits, but let me answer this question. So they are saying that they're applying for a divorce benefit based on their ex-spouse's record. And if you are divorced and you've been married for more than 10 years and your divorce is 2 years or more, you can apply for spousal benefits based on your ex's record, but you currently have to be unmarried and you have to be age 62 or older. Now, when you go to apply, you will need to bring a lot of documents. One of them is your ex-spouse's social security number. That number you can find on previous tax returns that you guys filed together while you were married. But if for some reason you don't have your ex-spouse's social security number, you are going to need their birth information. So let's talk about it and let me give you the answer. So usually you need proof of marriage and divorce and identifiers to locate the record. SSA can often find the ex with the name, date of birth, place of birth, and their parents' name. So if you don't have their social security number, these are the records that you need to have in order for them to be able to locate your ex-husband's or your ex-spouse's record. So in addition, you have to bring your divorce decree and you have to bring your marriage certificate to show that you were married for 10 years and that you've been divorced for at least 2 years, assuming that they haven't started collecting their own social security yet. Now, I'm almost done with these questions and then I'll go into the comments. I contributed to Social Security last 20 years, county school, letter says overpaid due to pension, WEP. I thought WEP was repealed. Great question when it comes to spousal benefits. So let's talk about it. So don't assume a rule change. Many rumors confuse people about WEP and GPO. WEP can reduce benefit for certain pensions not covered by Social Security. So this is one of the things that, yes, it was repealed. WEP, GPO was repealed. Your individual situation may be completely different. And so call the Social Security and ask for the exact reason code. That is important. When you call them, ask for the reason code they are using to say that you are being overpaid. And then get an explanation, a calculation explanation, so that you are equipped with all the information about why they reduce your benefit or why they are saying that you are being overpaid. And then finally, my spouse is a retired firefighter, started Social Security at 62. Can he apply as my spouse and get 50% of mine? I haven't applied yet. I think some of you already can answer this question based on everything that I talked about today, right? Because here is the situation that the person is 62. They want to claim spousal benefit, but their spouse has not filed yet. And that's one of the rules that is against spousal benefit, right? So spousal benefit requires the worker spouse to file first in most cases, and 50% is based on their full retirement age amount, right? And so you have to run both scenarios. You have to get your own amount, and then you get your spouse's amount, and then take 50% of theirs and compare it to yours, and then figure out which one is higher for you to use. So guys, again, you have an opportunity to call us and leave a message and ask a question, or you have a story you want to share with us. Go to 410-220-1335. Now, before I go to the questions in the comments, I want to leave you with this mission that I've been on and share some testimonials with you. I am determined this year to help 100,000 seniors get peace of mind about Medicare. Why is this so important to me? Because a lot of people have been burned by Medicare. They applied for something online at the Medicare.gov website, and then they get their Medicare card and realize that the benefits that they applied for is not what is being offered to them. Sometimes your doctors are dropped. Sometimes your hospitals are dropped. Your prescription may not be the same. There's a lot of surprises. And so I want to make sure that you get your questions answered. And over the last year, we've been working with a trusted partner, Chapter Medicare. And here are testimonials that I have pulled from people who have, based on my recommendation, have called Chapter and gotten that peace of mind that I'm talking about. So let me read a few of them to you. Somebody said, I signed up with Chapter yesterday it has saved me $2,200 a year. Somebody said, I took your advice and guidance and have my new enrollment done. The plan I was on was taking money away from me. I called my representative and now even get a free ride to doctor's appointment. Thank you for your YouTube channel. I share and told everyone I know. Then here's Lisa. Thank you. Thank God for Chapter. I unfortunately had to be hospitalized for a couple of days. So obviously there's bills, but because of Chapter finding the right plan for me, it's covered. The only thing I have to pay for was 38 cents for medication. I got great care and I'm very grateful. Thank you. This could be you guys. So I want you to, give them a call. They can answer your questions that you have. I mean, obviously there's more. I'm truly sorry to bother you. No, it's not a bother. I called Chapter. I got a great plan and I get 127 a month back, goes back in my check. Thank you. So this person was paying higher, probably in a higher income bracket. Now, because of Chapter, they have saved money and it goes back to their social security check, meaning that they're getting less taken out. So how do you call? Well, give them a call at 1-800, 539 539-205-2147. That's the number for Chapter. They are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. And if you want them to call you back, go to askchapter.org/insider. Again, they will answer any questions you have. They are not going to push any plan on you. They want to make sure that you get your questions asked and answered. All right. So now I'm going to go into the comment section and see whether there are some specific questions about what I talked about today. Here is one. My husband died 5 years ago. I only got partial of his benefit. Can I reapply and get full benefits now that this is passed? So let me put this on the screen. So we're talking about survivor benefits, right? So if your husband died 5 years ago, and after the person he died, you applied for survivor benefits, you should have received 100% of what he was getting. So I'm curious as to why, so I would follow up with Social Security and find out about that, because if the sequence of events is what you described, right? You're married, and then your husband passes away, unfortunately, and now you apply for survivor benefits, you should have received 100% of what he was getting, right? And so that is not what is supposed to happen unless there is a specific reason that they gave you. And so if you have more clarity around the situation, you can come back and give us a call at the number that I provided, and just leave a voicemail, and then I would listen. And then when I come back next time on a live tomorrow, possibly, or whenever you're able to call, leave us a voicemail and I will listen and I will respond to your question on a future live show. So I am looking forward to doing that. So give me more information, call them and find out what happened. Now, here is Dennis. Is it true that people on SSD are getting a raise? Well, this question is unrelated to today, but I always want to answer questions that come up. So I'm assuming that you're talking about, Social Security COLA. If you're talking about cost of living adjustment, that was already done in January. So if you haven't received your increase in January or February, then something is wrong. So you need to call the Social Security Administration, because yes, everybody should have received their Social Security cost of living adjustment. So here is Sally. Do a formula if one spouse took their retirement at 66 and the other one at 62. Also, you want to know what. So, well, here's what I would say. If you're claiming spousal benefits, right, and you took it at 62, you are going to get, a percentage of what they get. So I will have to do some math. So the next time I'm on live, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this so that the next time I come back on, I will answer your question fully. I will do the math and then I will answer your question the way you asked it. So 66 and 62, I will have to remember that. So thank you for your question. Let's see here. Is there a waiting period to get the benefit? If you're applying for spousal benefits, no. If you provided all the information, there's no waiting period. You should have received your benefit. So unless if it's pending, it means that there is some information that they are waiting for that they have not received yet. So that is probably what is going on. That is my suspicion of what is going on. All right, guys. So, as I always say, look, we're here to really make sure that you guys are maximizing your benefits. And so, if after watching this live, if you have any questions, I want you to call the number you see on your screen and leave a voicemail, and I'll be playing them live and answering questions. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear your questions. So give us a call and make sure that you also sign up for our newsletter, right? The Daily 3. If you go to our website, benefitsinsider.co, you sign up today. Tomorrow morning, you start receiving our newsletter, and it is a bite-sized reading that gives you just an update on what you absolutely need to know for today that may impact your benefits or your retirement. So, guys, it was great hanging out with you today. I appreciate all of you. I'll be back live tomorrow talking about divorce benefits, a continuation of this spousal benefits. So stay tuned. If you know somebody that's divorced and they are looking into receiving spousal benefit based on their ex-spouse's record, this is a show they don't want to miss. Invite them tomorrow to watch our channel for more details. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out with me today.